But you and I both know you chose this life. You wanted it until you didn't.
Actors do things. It's like their whole job. And whether they do it intentionally or not, there's certain actors that have certain traits or recurring habits that add a certain frenetic energy to their roles that often feels intangible. A certain je ne sais quoi. I recently watched a couple YouTube videos about two examples of this very thing by Senior Reviews on Tom Cruise's running and Brad Pitt's eating. Great videos.
Go watch them.
He talks about how these unassuming things add so much to the performances of those particular actors. And it got me thinking, is there any actors I like that have any unexplainable qualities that resemble that of Brad Pitt simply eating? And my answer, a resounding yes. Maybe. Adam, the voice, Driver. Adam Driver has a very specific voice because his voice is so juxtaposing. It is so incredibly dry and monotone, but yet so expressive and Moorish. It's a voice you just don't want to stop listening to, and you don't know why.
It's not about you. You have a role. You have to know your role within that team. Every team has a leader or director. Sometimes they're smart, sometimes they're not. And it's a powerful thing, getting in a room with complete strangers and reminding us ourselves of our humanity, and that self-expression is just as valuable a tool as a rifle on your shoulder.
I don't know, he just has a way of having people listening, but not just listening, feeling and laughing, and all at the same time, and all without looking like he's trying to. Why? Well, Adam Driver grew up in Mishawaka, Indiana, in Midwest America, and I don't know much about America, but it seems that part of America, the Midwest, do have a sort of deeper and slower drawl to their accents, and it should come at no surprise that when Googling what makes a voice soothing, you get the answer, a low frequency. Continuous sounds are the most comforting to distressed individuals.
Nice.
A lot of distressed individuals watching Marriage Story, am I right? Am I right? Your parents are divorced. I think it's also important to mention that his roles often lend themselves to his voice and having to deliver long stage-like monologues. And obviously you can't put all of his success to his slightly interesting, at least to me, voice. He has to still apply that voice in the way he does and like use it to its maximum capacity. And his so normal, it's odd, standard tone voice with zero inflections at all lends itself wonderfully to some dry comedy and being the funny character who isn't funny by nature but by circumstance.
Doesn't anyone want to pay attention to what's actually happening?
Much like how we see with a lot of Ryan Gosling's funny performances. And it's also a great platform to act on. When he gets loud, it feels loud. Because it's such a huge leap from what we're used to.
Another important thing to mention about Adam Driver's perfect voice.
This sounds nothing like Adam Driver. The imperfections of it. It's quite shaky and almost breaky. I watch interviews of him, and when he answers questions, he sounds like he is acting to me, but he's just giving his real life normal answers. Maybe it's because his voice just sounds so alien to me that my brain just puts that together, but that shaky, breaky voice works perfectly when he needs to get us in our feels. He has to show a lot of emotion, but with minimal stage direction, like him singing in Marriage Story.
Somebody make me come through. I'll always be there, as frightened as you.
This scene of Marriage Story, with context still of course, could still make members of the audience cry, because all the acting you really need can be heard right there in his voice. His voice is talent. Earlier I mentioned where he was born, and I'm sure part of his voice is from his hometown and his parents and stuff like that. Apparently though, Adam Driver has Dutch, English, German, Irish and Scottish ancestry. But there could also be a lot more external reasons for why his voice has that specific sound. From being born in California and only moving to Mishawaka when he was 7, to joining the army when all your communication seems very assertive and upright, to then having to leave the army due to injuring his sternum in a mountain biking accident. If you don't know, I did not know. The sternum is located in the center of your chest, and injuring it will cause like very bad chest pain, shortness of breath. Breath control is the big thing actors deal with while performing. It can take a few months to heal, but there can be some short and long-term implications from it. Now, I don't remember seeing any of the implications online saying you'd get the voice of a god and one of the best in Hollywood, but I read between the lines. Another factor is Adam Driver then attended Juilliard, which is like one of the best private performing art schools, which is based in New York, which could have some influence on his voice today. And finally, Adam Driver has done a lot of stage work, appearing in many on and off Broadway plays like Angels in America in 2011. Many actors have spoken about their love for the theatre, but how it affects them in films. You act and speak in a different way when acting on stage. You have to like exaggerate a whole lot more and project your voice to the back of the stalls. And in film, there is no back of the stalls. There's a camera and a guy with a boom mic. Obviously, I just have my tinfoil hat on. These are all just assumptions and theories. This is just the ramblings of a madman, alone in his room, frantically trying to connect a red string together with different pictures of Adam Driver in it and his vocal structure, when in reality, we shouldn't be caring about the why. We should just be enjoying that it's here. Adam Driver's deep, soothing, unique, shaky voice was probably just a genetic gift. But to that I say, don't stop shaking, Adam. As the phrase goes, shake what your mama gave you.